Two questions for you. First off, do you have an update on Lazar, Ristolainen, and Okposo, why they weren't practicing today?
Yeah, those were pure maintenance days. We did an assessment of everybody yesterday and felt that they could use 2 days off the ice, but they're working out off ice and expect all three of them back in the fold on Tuesday.
Morning, Ralph. Question about your approach with the goaltending rotation for the regular season. Obviously, with the 82-game season, the backup is usually used in back-to-back situations. But with the compacted schedule, how are you going to approach divvying up what you use for Linus and for Carter?
I have to be quite honest with you, Michael. We're really keeping the picture small at the moment. It's a new world for us, and what I can see is every single morning the day will begin with the discussion of the way players are moving, taxi squad, Rochester, into our roster, and then also with goalies, everybody trying to feel the energy of the group, trying to feel the health of the group, like we did on the maintenance days today. Just a lot of internal communication on how we're going to move, and it'll be the same with the goalies. We're going to take it a game at a time. Somebody gets hot here, they could get a few. We would like to avoid backs, but I'm not gonna say never. Generally, we'd be sharing the back-to-backs, and otherwise going. If you look at after our first two back-to-backs, we play 10 games in 19 days, always having a day in between. So somebody gets hot in a stretch like that, why not ride them? And in other phases, we might work differently. So you're going to be asking me that daily, and we'll be making decisions daily, really in all positions, not only in goal, on what's best for the team on that day.
Hi, Ralph. Along those lines, you're off tomorrow, and then you only got 2 practices left. We see some roster decisions tomorrow, and then when you come on the ice Tuesday with your real team or what you're ready to go with?
Well, that's an interesting question, John, because again, we can move taxi squad players into the normal roster just so that you guys can guess a little bit more. No, just kidding. But it's truly just like the question now from Michael. It's the same thing, John. What is best for our core of 20 players? And there will be skates where that group will skate, and there will be skates where we think it's better to have a larger number to lower the load on the players. So probably very rarely will we actually only practice with 20. It'll probably be 3 goalies. It'll probably be 8D and 14 forwards, and then the extra taxi squad players would be working out separately in other ice times. That's what you saw today with numbers is something that I felt would be a good number for us to train with here. So this is the way we're tending right now.
Hi, Ralph. You've talked about how you think Toby has some underrated offense and can contribute. Well, he had a couple goals last night. What contributed to him scoring those goals last night, in your opinion?
Yeah, he's got that in him, and we love that defensive scoring threat in our lineup. And I thought that we had players playing that to a T. I mean, I think Zemgus was in a prime example of accepting the grinding, physical, defensive, penalty killing, sacrificial kind of job, and still chipping in on the offense. And we see in Toby that same kind of a player. And I've known him for a very long time, almost a decade or more than a decade now, actually. And he does have an offensive upside. A lot of it has to do with his confidence level and the responsibility that he has. But those goals yesterday were typical. The one close in, the other one off the rush with the one-timer. He has that in him, and that's something we're hoping to see from Toby on both sides of the puck.
Ralph, last night Jeff Skinner seemed to have his struggles here and there throughout the night and showed off a little frustration from time to time. This morning, he was, I mean, if not the first person out on the ice shooting the puck and trying to figure out some issues with his game. How do you feel that he's handling some of the struggles that he's maybe having over the past couple of days at camp here?
Yeah, I mean, he's worked hard in the off season. He's coming in here, and you know, for us, it's important, no matter your role, no matter your skill level, is that in general you know, play within the principles. He's continuing, you know, to work on that together with the coaching staff. I think, you know, if he, you know, once he lets that go and relaxes and trusts his instincts, you know, he's going to give us what we need, which is we need scoring right through the lineup. And the present setup, you know, will give that line opportunity to add to our offense. And it'll be important for Jeff to just keep working hard. And again, our principles need to be the guideline, but within that framework, every player has the opportunity to let his genius, you know, express itself. And for Jeff, that's usually in the danger zone in front of the other team's net. So his line mates need to get him there. He needs to do the work to get himself there, and the goals will follow. And it's always hard work before you get rewarded. And you know, at the moment, you gave a good example of that. He's working on it. We're communicating with him, and you know, we're confident we'll be able to get Jeff in a good place here.
Ralph, in what way do you see the taxi squad being a potential development tool for a younger guy, the ability to practice with the team and just be around, you know, this group throughout the season?
Yeah, I think it's a careful balancing act between which you've already mentioned, excellent exposure to the environment, which, as an example, Tage Thompson profited from, even though he wasn't even practicing with us. He's much more comfortable in the group socially. He understands the mechanisms of the team, and he's a better player for it. So we want to expose him to that. At the same time, we have to be careful. Players, 10, 20 games go by like this season, and we want to make sure there's nobody getting stuck in only practicing and not having game exposure. And we don't expect a big game schedule in Rochester. So we're going to have to assess that every day. How long has the player been here? We've got systems in place to monitor that. But first and foremost will be to find that proper mix on a player between exposing him to the NHL or a practice like today for Jack Quinn and Dylan Cousins was outstanding, but also we have to make sure they're playing hockey games. So getting that right is one of the extra challenges we have this season.
Hi, Ralph. What has the process been like getting the guys to gel as people with the obvious limitations due to the pandemic?
Can you ask that again? Sorry, Jordan.
What has the process been like getting guys to gel off the ice?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a really good. I missed the word gel. And that's a really good question. I had a long talk with Kyle Okposo about that today. He gave the example of playing together with Tobias Rieder, but not spending 1 minute together off the ice. And he's really enjoyed playing with him. They chat on the edge, but our drills and our practices, we run with very short breaks in between. So it's not a big social event out there. And I think that, the games have been good, but we look forward to getting some semblance of normalcy back into that environment where we are and will be allowed to go back into our main dressing room with the entire team here for when we begin the season. So, we've definitely missed that. And for me, the team building and the information exchange has been a little bit of a find your moments and give it to the group in the end zone and so on, because, even off the site here, we can't get together and do what we would usually do. Tonight, we'd probably have a big team dinner and lots of chatting together and exchange information about how we want to get to where we want to go. So for me, I need to be creative too with the coaching staff, and we're doing all kinds of little inputs here and there, but it is a good question. But overall, we feel a sense of calm and camaraderie here that is healthy, and the work ethic is going on the same side. So I believe we're going to be fine, and possibly there'll be an extra buzz and excitement when we finally can sit together in a dressing room and look at each other in the face. And, you know, that could give us an extra push for Washington.
Ralph, obviously you've mentioned that this is an ongoing day-to-day, free-flowing, you know, in and out of the taxi squad roster kind of thing, but it would, you know, appear as though a lot of Group 2 today might be, you know, Rochester bound. What is R2 Ristolainen's status in all of this as far as where he stands today and what opportunity still lays in front of him in the short term and perhaps long term?
So let's remember, this has been his first real intense exposure to North American hockey. He was here last year, but for a very short time. And, you know, because we haven't had all the exhibition games, there are some advantages, and that's that you could spend a lot of time teaching and coaching in and around the every day. And R2 wasn't punished here today or in any way, shape, or form. This is the beginning of his journey, and we see a lot of good things. We felt, you know, let's remember, he's coming off playing more than half a season in the Finnish Elite League, which has probably been taxing when you look at the training camp that we've been running here, mainly focused on the players that didn't play any games. So he quite clearly has some fatigue at this point, and we look forward to exposing him, you know, possibly here with us in the taxi squad and or getting some minutes, but also in combination with Rochester. And our geographical advantage to having Rochester so close that we could call up a player who's been tested properly in the morning on the NHL protocols, and he could play for us in the evening. So being in Rochester doesn't mean a player can't play, and the taxi squad doesn't guarantee you're going to play. So R2, we're going to combine the taxi squad with the Rochester environment and with Zeth Appert down there, and let's be patient, because, you know, he's got the Victor Olofsson kind of upside, where he needed a year in Rochester to really be able to show what he was capable of. So let's see how much and how quickly all that develops. But we're really pleased with R2 so far. He's a good spirit and a good player to have in our group, and adds to our depth chart.
All right, we're all set. Thanks, Ralph.
Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the day.